Hey folks, okay, this is long overdue. I haven't done a trail breakdown yet this year, and I usually do them like pretty early. Anyways, sorry for the delay. Today we are going to break down Crazy Train in Oz, and guess what? I have a special guest. Oh, there he is. Matt Woods. Matt's been riding Fortune for since the dawn of time, and he pretty much knows every single line there is to know. So hopefully he'll show us some cool stuff, and maybe I'll learn something I didn't know yet. And yeah, I just want to also say a huge thanks to the sponsors of the channel, which I don't do often enough. That'd be Norco Bicycles, Full Cycle Ottawa, Noble Wheels, TRP, and now Trees Mountain Apparel. Trees is a company that is based in Quebec, and they make some awesome cycling clothing. Matt also rides for Trees. They put a lot of emphasis on sustainable materials, and they do make quite a few things in Canada, which is awesome. So I'll leave links to all those sponsors down below if you want to go check them out. And yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling and we're gonna go ride some bikes. All right, Matt, lead us in. So you want to catch Crazy Train at the top of the Meech chair. It starts off pretty chill. Don't let the beginning deceive you, because this trail is, I would say, top 3 hardest trails at Fortune in terms of like unrelenting technical features. So we're coming into the first tech feature. There you go. Matt just demoed one of the lines. So we're gonna pull over here and see if we can break this one down a little bit. So we're at the bottom of one of the first sort of tech features that the trail has to offer. A little bit of a rock roll into a bridge. Matt, why don't you give me a run through sort of some possible lines?
So basically you'll come in off kind of a 1 foot little step and roll through a couple jagged rocks, and then you're gonna get yourself to this roll down here. Now when you come through this roll down, you got 2 options. You can either just straight roll it down and into the line where Chris is standing and into the corner. However, the other option that you can do is you can open up this corner a little bit and get your wheels up here, and it looks pretty bumpy, but you know what, once you get up on these roots, it's actually pretty smooth. It's going to open up the corner. It's going to allow you a little more support going into the next corner and make the corner a little less harsh.
There you go. Demonstration, I'll do the inside. So we're at the next section, which is this lovely, somewhat blown out, rooty, rocky situation. It's very off camber, and it's one of those sections that, like, when it's wet, it's pretty diabolical. So I'm gonna get up to where Matt is and kind of give you a look down. So basically what we were talking about is we usually, if the conditions are good, it's nice and dry, you can come in up high onto the off-camber routes and you hook up pretty okay generally.
Yep. But
what happens is you end up getting sort of pulled down in towards the tree over there, and then you end up going wide, and it's not necessarily, if we're talking quick lines, probably not the quickest. So what Matt was just saying was,
well, you can basically just come over the rock, still over these roots, but over the edge of the roots, and just to the right of those rocks, and it's going to get you more or less to the same place. You're going to go over that ledge, and you're going to go to the left of that triangle rock, but it's going to get you more or less to the same place without a lot of banging in between.
That's going middle low. I'm going high up over the roots. I can stay high. Oh, look at that. So coming in, nice and hot. Matt's going middle low. I'm going high up over the roots. I can stay high. Oh, it wasn't so bad. I had to pull a lot of brakes, but okay. Sweet. All right, now we're gonna flow it out to the next section. I'm gonna try Matt's sort of low middle. Oh yeah, that's nice. Woo. Oh yeah, I see that. Nice line. And then, oh, interesting. You didn't take the line you showed me in the past. No, that was cool. Okay, so we are now at, I would say, the crux of the trail, the most technical feature set, if you will. And we've got like some pretty hectic rocks in the run-in. And then that brings you right into here, where you got this, like, I'd almost call it a chute. And again, the GoPro effect is real, so you don't really see, but there's some pretty decent like notches and compressions in the rock, so you really have to be pretty dialed and go straight down there. You probably saw on YouTube, or sorry, on Instagram, I went a little bit here. I've washed my front wheel and ended up straddling this dead tree right here, and I've got the scars to prove it. And the alternate line, you can go nice and wide on the left, and then you can take that rock right there, almost like a berm. And what it does, so this isn't the fast line, I would say this is the safe line, but I mean, it's all relative. Both lines are kind of gnarly. And then that kind of lines you up really nice for the next feature, which I found to be, at least for me, the most daunting feature on this trail. And I'm gonna hand it off to Matt here. Maybe give us a little walkthrough of this one.
Yeah, so this one's a bit interesting because it's an off camber and it's a fairly good size roll. So after you've collected yourself and regrouped from that, you're right in this off camber roll, and the approach isn't really straightforward because you can see there's this bump in the rock right here, which you've got to figure out
I
what
can
to
tell.
do on.
Nice. It's not super duper straightforward, yeah.
No, so you can hit it, you know, kind of one of two ways. One is kind of come in on what's the obvious, or a little more obvious line here on the flat bit, and then angle your bike and line up for the exit. The other option is if you're coming in a little bit hot and you're confident carrying your speed and riding a bit of off camber, you can come in a little straighter, hit kind of the pinkish part of this rock, start to bank.
So you're saying like right here-ish?
Yeah, start to bank.
Yeah.
And then right down into the V at the bottom of those rocks.
Yeah.
And that's fun, it just takes a little more commitment. So it's, are you comfortable on the off camber, or do you want to ride out to here and then take the safe line which goes straight down the camber?
Cool. Yeah. So you're going to take the main line with confidence? Okay. Good. Control your speed coming in here. Matt's taking main line with confidence. I'm going to go do the berm rock situation. Oh, nice. Matt's taking main line with confidence. Go do the berm rock situation. That's interesting. Okay. All right, so we're coming in off the really gnarly rock face. We get to this crazy intersection of a few different trails. We got Ho Chi Minh, and then Oz, or Ho Chi Minh continues that way, Oz goes that way. You get this really chunky section. We basically want to come boop, 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 straight through, and then right down this like crack right here, and then you shoot into that corner. So Matt's gonna give us a little demo, and then we're gonna move on to the next section. Let her rip. Textbook. We're now at, sounds like there's some serious commotion going on in the woods over there.
There's a squirrel coming for you.
It's a big squirrel though, holy smokes. Okay, all right, so we got this next section, which I kind of call, I guess it's like 3 steps. And every year it just keeps getting more and more blown out. So this is pretty much right after the intersection. This trail breakdown is very extensive because I feel like every 20 feet there's something notable. So you basically come in here, a couple lines. You can do the 3 steps that are on the outside, or you can go on the inside here on the right hand side and just go straight down this kind of like, it's a little bit more mellow, a little bit less like compression-y. Yeah, thoughts?
It's a bit of jank. It's a bit of jank. Pick your own adventure. It's not going to feel good no matter what you do.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like, no, there's no safe line.
Yeah, let's go down to the bottom and look up, because I always find like, this section of trail specifically, you go down it and you're like, hey, whatever. Or you're like, holy smokes. But when you get to the bottom and you look up, you're like, oh, no wonder that felt so crazy. Matt, stay there for perspective. Like, that's some jank for sure. You know, so you're coming down inside, outside. Either way, you have to deal with this last section. There's a nice chonked out bit here. A lot of people have been going like hugging the inside here and then around. Or what I used to do is I'd come down this side and then I'd go like to the right of these two trees, and then that kind of opens up my line towards the next rock face.
When you get to the bottom here, this is a pretty abrupt turn and there's no support in here, like it's all just flat. So if you do want to make it to your destination over there down the trail, your best way to do this is kind of to make sure you get your tires hooked into this root. So come in hooking off the root, or you can come in off these roots, but it's a bit more tricky.
Yeah, it right angles the corner a little bit too much, right?
Yeah, but either way, it's a safer bet than coming outside.
And we have yet another rock face. And again, this is one of those sort of, I'd say, dicey lines if it's a little bit like steamy out. These roots right at the top here, you 100% don't want to brake on those, because you're just going to wash your front wheel and it's going to be a bad time all around. So you really want to control your speed on this nice little braking point right here where you have some actual dirt, and then come into this rock pretty chill, let off the brakes here, and then just carry speed right out. And again, you've got a couple of dirt patches down there where you can kind of get your speed in check. And we'll take a look at this from down below as well. Hey Matt, do you want to go stand at the top just for some perspective?
Sure.
Trying to not roll my ankles here. Okay, here's a different perspective. This is quite a picturesque rock face. As you can see, you have the lovely moss flanking the granite, and Matt at the top there. Like I said, Matt's kind of a tall dude. He's not a little guy. So for perspective, it's a pretty big rock face. And again, it's kind of chunked out at the bottom as well. So pedal strike, good measure. All right. Nice. Sweet. So we're at the last sort of tech section, which is like kind of some, again, rocks into a few more rocks. And then just down there, we've got a whole bunch more rocks. But really, so you come down this, it's kind of a janky compression, and you have to kind of get around that tree quickly, which is hard to do. And we're just sort of trying to game out how to best essentially open that corner up and straighten it out just a little bit more, because right now it is sort of like a left-hand abrupt hook and there's no way around it necessarily.
Yeah, this is kind of your pumping and smashing at the same time, so if you can find a bit of smoothness, it goes really well. But there's a lot of things to hit in between.
Yeah.
So,
and I guess the reason why you want to hit this section relatively quick is because if you can carry speed through this section, you have a series of like 3 rock rollers that I find are a lot easier to conquer if you have the momentum to get over them. So you've got 1, 2, and then a 3.
So a nice little thing I like to do on this is, so no matter how you hit that, you know, you tend to end up on the outside here of these flat rocks-ish. And what I like to do is, instead of like sticking on the right here, is I've always found there was a nice smooth line. You skirt these roots.
Yeah.
And then just catch the edge of the trail right here.
Yeah, 100%. And the same goes for the other one. You kind of go up and over, because there's like a little bit of like a, again, like a V you can sort of nestle into. So if you kind of come up one over here, you see there's another like boop. So you kind of want to like hop up over and just get right in that V and then point straight for the next one. Try not to worry about like all the weirdness in between. Oh, dude, you brought up a huge rock. Oh man, that was spooky. Nice. This is such a physical trail too. If you're doing like a full-on top to bottom,
Yeah, it's a physical one.
it's unreal. Woo! Yeah. Oh shit. Oh no! I went into the trees. Shit. Darn it. Spoofed it. I just washed my front wheel a little.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
Sure if you caught me up in the 14
Oh,
The thing about that is you don't have to slide. It's like nothing.
yeah. Ew. All right, that's pretty much it. Going for the extra credit? Okay. Phew! So sick. Nicely done. Okay, so that about does it for the Oz trail breakdown. I want to say a huge thanks to Matt for coming out and you know, help me break it down. It's always easier with two people. And if you guys want to learn more about trails, or if you need a crash course on some of the trails at Fortune, Matt is actually an instructor with Bike Skills. So you can find him on the Bike Skills website. I think it's bikeskills.ca. Yep. And yeah, he'll sort you out. He'll show you all the things. Anyways, if you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. And I will see you out on the trails.